Hey guys, it's Charity here. I had to make this video today because I was in an interview earlier today, and let me just say it went very poorly. And I was the interviewer, and I was interviewing another guy, and it just did not go well. And I just felt for this poor guy. It was literally terrible. And at the end, I was honest with him. I said, like, look, I need to give you some pointers because it was that bad. And this is why I make these videos. I make these videos for you guys because I don't want you to make the same mistake that this guy made today. It was just heart-wrenching because there were some things that he could have done, and if only he had listened and maybe watched my videos, he could have been in such a better spot. So that's why I want to share this experience with you and give you feedback and let you know what has worked for me, what has worked in my life for finding jobs, what has worked for me when I do interviews, and I hope it can help you as well. As always, please, if you like my material, please make sure to hit that bell and to subscribe because that does help my channel. All right, getting that out of the way, I do want to say, let me tell you the story. So I was in an interview today, and the interview started off okay, but you could tell that the guy who I was interviewing was very nervous. And that's okay. Nerves is natural. No one expects you to not be nervous or be perfect. But what we want to see is that despite those nerves, you can still perform. You can still push through, you can still answer questions, and you can still do your due diligence and successfully show the interviewer who you are. Because that's really the whole point of an interview, is to find out who you are and what your capabilities are. So essentially the first mistake that this guy made, started off the interview, we started with introductions. The introductions went fine, except you could tell he was nervous, which again, as I said, is okay. And we asked him, why do you want this position? Why did you apply to this position? And why do you want to work for this company? And as soon as he started talking, I could tell that he knew nothing about the company. He had not done any research. He knew some high-level key terms, but could not even explain what the company was. And that was the first red flag for me. Okay, one, he has not done any research on the company. So then me and my fellow interviewer, we dug in a little bit deeper and said, okay, can you explain maybe what we do a little bit more? What does our technology provide? And he, same thing, could not answer that question. So that was, again, red flags. So then we're like, okay, well, maybe let's transition to more soft skills. So can you explain to me a time that you had to communicate with someone or you had to overcome a challenge, and how did you overcome that challenge? And at this point, he was starting to get flustered, and you could tell he didn't even think about what are potential questions these people are going to ask me, and already have answers for those questions. So when I asked for a specific example on something, he wasn't able to provide that specific example. And then he started rambling about and using terms like, oh yeah, customer service, high level, whatever, using like catchphrases. And then that's where me and my fellow interviewer are just getting confused. And it just kept getting worse, you guys. It just got worse and worse and worse. And then at the end, to make it worse, we're like, do you have any questions for us? And he did not have the proper questions as well. And as soon as I got off that interview, I was just heartbroken for this guy, because I know that if only he knew what he should have been doing prior to the interview, if he had known then and gone into the interview prepared, he would have been so much more successful. Because I looked at the guy's resume. He's stellar per his resume on paper. He has the degrees we're looking for. He has the background. He should have the communication skills. Everything on paper was there. But when we met in person, it was a completely different story. So let me explain what this guy could have done that would have completely changed the outcome of this interview. Number one, he should have done research. Number one, research the company that you are applying to. Know what the company does, research the position. Sometimes you might not know everything, but learn as much as you possibly can about that company. You can go on their website. You can, even if you know people who work for the company, do an informational interview with them to figure out the ins and outs of the company, how it works, everything you possibly can. And with online nowadays, there's so much you can find out online. You can even go on YouTube to learn about a company's technology or whatever it might be. But do that research. So upfront, the research has to be done. Second, in preparing for the interview, think about what questions the interviewer is going to ask you. And you can go online and there's lists of questions that are common questions. Tell me about a time when you had to overcome a challenge. Tell me a time that you had to communicate with multiple stakeholders. Tell me why you want this job and tell me what you know about our technology. There are some questions that are just, you can almost guarantee they're going to ask you those. So because you already have that insight, prepare. Come up with stories. Figure out how you're going to answer those questions. And I have another video that talks about a method to answering questions. It's called the STAR method, where you, if they say, explain to me how your communication is, then you explain to them a specific example, a situation, a task, an action you took, and the result. You make it very specific and concise. And if you already have that planned out prior to the interview and you already have stories in your head, okay, I'm going to talk about this for communication, I'm going to talk about this when it comes to working with stakeholders and so on and so forth, then you will rock that interview. So that's the first step. Prepare. As you go into the interview, you're going to be nervous. Hands down, you're going to be nervous. But let go of the nervousness. At that point, know that you're prepared. You reviewed the questions that they're most likely going to ask, and you have answers so they don't catch you off guard. And then when you go into that interview and they are asking you questions, you are concise, you're able to quickly and effectively communicate with them and to show them that you are the best person for that job. You are. And then lastly, I think the third thing that this gentleman did wrong from my interview today, he did not ask questions. Always have questions for your interviewer. Always. So important. Have a list of questions beforehand. That goes back to the preparation. Have a list of questions that you have about the company, about the team, about that person, whatever it might be. Just have questions, because that shows your interest. That shows that you really care and that you want this job and that you are the most qualified for the job as well. So with that, guys, I really, really hope that you don't make the same mistakes as this other guy. And that's why I really wanted and had to bring this video to you today. You got this. Please, if you like this material, please subscribe and check out my other videos, as I have other great videos about how to interview, how to land jobs, and how to really follow your dreams in life and to land that dream job. You got this. All right. Until next time.